coming up on OU Nightly. After seeing 9 execution dates come and go, an Oklahoma death row inmate has his conviction thrown out. And a surprise report sheds light on health concerns for the Cleveland County Jail, what local officials are saying about the conditions. Plus, what an email from Elon Musk could mean for thousands of federal workers after mass layoffs. This is OU Nightly. A public memorial service honoring the life and legacy of David Boren is scheduled for late March. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Alexa Dringus.
And I'm Olivia Hayes. The former Oklahoma governor, U.S. Senator, and University of Oklahoma president died last week at 83 years old. A spokesperson for the family says the service will be held at 2 p.m. on March 29th at St. Luke's Methodist Church in Oklahoma City.
The U.S. Supreme Court threw out Oklahoma death row inmate Richard Glossop's case, ruling 5-3.
The grounds for a new trial due to a key witness lying and prosecutors withholding information about the witness. Glossop was convicted in 1998 for the murder-for-hire plot of his boss, Barry Van Treese. Glossop has been in prison for 27 years and has fought for his innocence. His case even getting the attention of Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond, who has been consistent in support of overturning the death penalty for Glossop and believes in Glossop receiving a fair trial.
That if Mr. Glossop is retried, that he will be found guilty of a crime. The question is, would it rise to the level of the death penalty? And I honestly don't think so.
Drummond said today that Glossop will remain in prison for now until the state decides to retry him. It's a beautiful day to get outside here in Norman and across Oklahoma.
Meteorologist Chloe Arroyo joins us now live in studio to tell us more about this weather warm-up. Chloe?
Hey, last week we could not get outside at all, so this week, no excuse. Those temperatures are well above average. Our forecasted high for this afternoon, 81 degrees, but our recorded high just last Wednesday, 13 degrees for our high, not even our low. So take advantage of the sun. In fact, I know exactly who is taking advantage of that sun today. OU Nightly meteorologist Joel Robinson is live outside. Joel, tell us what you're feeling, how it's feeling out there, and what you're doing up there.
Chloe, it's an absolutely beautiful day here across Oklahoma. Temperatures above average, blue skies, sunshine. It's an absolute home run of a day. I'm here at the OU baseball field. And let's take a look at those temperatures across the state. Temperatures generally in the upper 70s, even some areas crossing the low 80s. Overall, we are way above average for this time of year, and that's going to continue on through the next couple of days. We'll get into the rest of those details coming up, but for now, Chloe, I'm going to toss it back to you.
All right, sounds good. Have so much fun out there, Joel. Now, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more about this outdoor weather, how long these temperatures are going to last. We also have rain chances ahead of us. I'll have that in the full forecast.
Thank you, Chloe. And Bixby Superintendent Rob Miller says he's entering the race for the 2026 State Superintendent race. Current Superintendent Ryan Walters has not announced a campaign. Miller is the only candidate to announce a bid. Court documents show both are at the center of a legal battle. After last year, Miller filed a defamation lawsuit against Walters.
Employees within the Department of Government Efficiency quit today, saying they will not jeopardize American sensitive data. OU Nightly's Bryn Mead is following this and other national and international headlines from the OU Nightly News Center. Bryn?
Yes, a group of 21 civil service employees, including engineers, data scientists, designers, and product managers, say they will no longer work under Elon Musk's leadership over Doge. In a letter, these employees say they will not use their technical expertise to dismantle critical public services and express concerns that those appointed by Musk lack the necessary skills for the job. In response, Elon Musk took to X, claiming the letter is fake news. He went on to say that the workers would have been fired had they not resigned voluntarily. In a move reversing decades of precedent, the White House will now handpick which media outlets can cover the president's day-to-day activities. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says that selecting which outlets will have access will allow for streaming services and podcasters to participate in presidential coverage. This comes just a day after a federal judge declines to lift the White House ban on the Associated Press's access to presidential events. The dispute stems from the AP's decision to use the term Gulf of Mexico after President Trump renamed it the Gulf of America. A young American mother is arrested in Paris, accused of throwing her child from a hotel room balcony. Local officials say the baby was put in a trash can after being thrown from the balcony, later found by authorities. Despite being rushed to the hospital, the baby did not survive. Authorities believe the young woman may have been in denial about her pregnancy. Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is now asking people to stop reaching out to him. The 26-year-old has gained national attention with supporters wearing Free Luigi t-shirts. Alexa, Olivia.
Thank you, Bryn. The chaos around an email to federal employees continues today. Once again, Elon Musk is threatening to fire workers over it, but many employees say they don't know what they're supposed to do with the email. Amy Kiley has the latest on the mixed messages they're receiving.
There's a lot of confusion.
Calls for clarity are growing around an email asking federal employees what they did last week. It's now past the response deadline listed on the email, but Elon Musk is doubling down. He says employees will get another chance to submit answers. He says on X, quote, failure to respond a second time will result in termination. That post yesterday comes just hours after seemingly contradictory guidance from the Office of Personnel Management. That's the agency that sent the email. It says responding was voluntary but strongly encouraged. In fact, a number of federal agencies say they don't want their employees to answer.
When is it that somebody doesn't answer the email and they are reprimanded or let go or terminated?
A handful of Republicans are joining those who say the mixed messages are confusing. Senator Shelley Moore Capito says the email wasn't handled well. She says clarification would be good. Senator James Lankford says he wants to know, quote, where did that come from and why did that go out that way?
Just ease up a little bit so we can actually get some really good things done, but make sure it's concisely done without a lot of negativity.
Calls for compassion are on the rise, too. As federal job cuts continue, lawmakers say they're hearing from constituents who are now out of work.
I really wanted to hear their concerns, and let's work together about how can we find you the next job.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
President Donald Trump praising this email yesterday, saying, quote, if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you are fired.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a new report from the Oklahoma State Health Department,
what they found inside the Cleveland County Jail, and what county leaders had to say.
and tax season is in full swing.
When we come back, we'll have more about if federal layoffs could affect your tax returns. Welcome back. A new report exposes hazardous conditions at the Cleveland County Detention Center. The Oklahoma State Department of Health uncovered a massive list of problems within the facility, including neglecting security checks, fire safety violations, unsanitary living conditions, and inmates sleeping on the floor. In 2024, 5 inmates died inside the Cleveland County Jail. In a statement to OU Nightly, the Cleveland County Board of Commissioners say, quote, "This is not a funding problem, this is a leadership crisis. The sheriff must get a handle on the daily operations of his jail as required by state law." And tomorrow on OU Nightly, more on this report and its findings.
Tax season is in full swing and it's collided with headlines about IRS layoffs and cuts. But what does it all mean for your return and refund? Karen Kafa is in Washington with what taxpayers need to know.
Last week, the IRS was expected to start layoffs of more than 6,000 employees as part of the Trump administration's broader cuts to the federal workforce at the agency's busiest time of year.
We know that when the IRS is understaffed, as it was in the 2010s, it makes refunds slower. It means they have a hard time answering their phones if you've got questions.
Vanessa Williamson, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution, says the cuts could impact important taxpayer resources.
There's some evidence that a lot of the cuts are going to come to people who help small business owners who have some of the most complicated taxes of anyone. So if you haven't filed, I recommend you file as soon as possible.
Tom O'Sabin, Director of Tax Content and Government Relations at the National Association of Tax Professionals, says amid leaner IRS staffing, taxpayers should try to limit the need for person-to-person contact with the agency.
What it means is if there's any possibility to electronically file your return, do so. Whether you're using a tax professional or you're filing or you're on your own, or you use the direct file system, which is relatively new at the IRS, try to submit your return electronically.
O'Sabin adds that careful preparation can also minimize omissions and errors that could take longer to correct. And no matter the headlines, he says, to complete that return.
In reading a lot of these social media posts and the like, there's been some talk about waiting to file or don't bother to file. I think that's a fool's recommendation.
Professionals recommend to file early before potential cuts to avoid refund delays and long waits. OU's Black Student Association is keeping the celebrations alive as the end of Black History Month nears.
Learn more about the Taste of Soul locally Black-owned businesses give OU students after this break.
Plus, we're walking on sunshine this week, but hey, all good things must come to an end. I'll tell you when to expect those rain chances in my full forecast coming up next. Well, thanks for joining us here at OU Nightly on this Tuesday afternoon. Hey, I hope you've gotten to go outside, get that vitamin D in the sunshine today. It's pretty calm across much of the Central Plains, right in the heart of Oklahoma. Really nothing going on. We've got a couple of showers and a couple of systems that are working their way eastward off into the north, but none of which affecting us over the next day or two. So current wind gusts right now are starting to slowly pick up. We were pretty calm yesterday, but I want to point out these wind gusts. They're upwards of 15 to 20 miles per hour. We also have a southerly flow with that. That's what's keeping us on the warmer side this afternoon. So expect those temperatures to stay pretty warm and above average. The last 2 days we've actually been above normal for this time of year. But I also want to point out we've had record minimum high temperatures and record maximum high temperatures just in the month of February. So a lot to think about, a lot of roller coaster temperatures this week. This week though, much needed sunshine compared to last week. We were all cooped up inside. This week, no excuse. Everyone should get some sunshine throughout the rest of the week. So we've got our temperatures. They're going to slowly start to dip down into the 60s and eventually the 50s overnight. Now we have a chance for some showers tomorrow afternoon. I don't expect it to last long and I don't expect it to be very much at all, be very isolated. So I'm still going to give you the green light in terms of that car wash forecast. So the next 3 days, if you need to get that car cleaned, do so. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, great times for that, specifically today and even into Thursday. Now looking into the overall big picture, we've talked about a couple rain chances coming up. This week, once we get past this week, aside from the rain chances on Wednesday afternoon, here's the system we're tracking, this low pressure system that will end up right into Texas and Oklahoma. That could bring some showers along with it. And then I'll push off eastward. And then starting at the beginning of next week, we could see another system that we're still tracking. It's pretty far out, but just keep that in mind. Lows tonight into the 40s. So it'll be pretty mild. And then highs tomorrow, we're going to be in the 60s. So once again, above normal for this time of year. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. Wow, look at that. Lots of sunshine, warmer temperatures, above average, much different from last week. So hopefully you guys are able to get outside this week. I know I sure am. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, for sure, Chloe. I'll definitely be sure to head outside today before that rain comes.
Yes, absolutely.
The Black Student Association continues their celebration of Black History Month. OU Nightly reporter Tanae Fletcher reports on the fun activities to close out the month.
With Black History Month coming to a close, OU's Black Student Association is still celebrating with giving OU students a taste of soul. As Black History Month comes to a close, Black culture continues to go on.
just like the line to get into the Black Student Association's Taste of Soul. Taste of Soul exposed OU students to Black-owned businesses in Norman, including local restaurants that left students pretty satisfied.
Eating the really good food. I haven't heard of a lot of these businesses, and I think this brought a lot of awareness to it. And I've got to try some amazing food that I never would have thought about before. So I think that's been definitely the best part for me.
The event also shed light on Black student business owners, showing that creativity is limitless and can come from anywhere.
How close the Black community gets when you have these organizations and these businesses come together, how we can easily support them.
Taste of Soul was a space for fellowship, food, and future entrepreneurs, but it also gave students an opportunity to learn more about the Black culture that is right here in Norman. Black History Month will eventually come to a close, but Black culture and the Black community will live on, and once you get a taste, you'll only want more. Reporting for OU Nightly, Tanae Fletcher.
If you're looking for a way to celebrate Black History Month, BSA will be hosting a stroll-off competition this Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Meckham Auditorium. Sooner softball stays in the rankings following a dominant weekend.
And a pair of OU athletes took home SEC honors from their performances this weekend.
While OU basketball prepares to go face-to-face with a former teammate in SEC play. Also, one of the 17 remaining undefeated college baseball teams is currently playing, with one Sooner making his first start as we speak. Up next in sports. Hello, I'm Kevin Daniel, and it's time for sports. Sooner baseball plays their first game after upsetting the #2 team in the nation right now. OU Nightly's Arab Dahu is with the latest ranked Sooner team.
That's right, Kevin. I'm outside Elldale Mitchell Park, home of the team that's catching everyone's attention, OU baseball. And why? Well, when you beat 2 top 10 teams in the same weekend, heads are going to start turning. Now placed 16th in the latest ranking, OU baseball hopes to keep the ball rolling. Or should I say throwing, in the game today against Texas Southern in a 2-game series. And talking about getting things going, Jacob Golston is now starting on the mound today against Texas Southern. He was ranked number 9 in Texas among right-hand pitchers and number 31 overall according to Prep Baseball Report. And now, of course, we're going to keep you up to date with the latest scores. And with that, OU is leading 7-1 today against Texas Southern. Arab Dahu, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Arab. OU basketball welcomes guard Otega Owe back to the LNC tomorrow night as they host the Kentucky Wildcats. Head coach Porter Mosier says has the keys to a second straight Sooner victory.
The strategy is to play the right way. You know, just completely still move the ball, share the ball, high assists, low turnovers, guard. That's the strategy to continue on. And for them to have some success doing that when they haven't in 5 straight games, that was really crucial for us.
Speaking of strategy, OU women's basketball found shots from Beers, Reagan Beers that is, to be successful over the weekend, as Beers earned her second SEC Player of the Week honor for 30-point performances in wins against Vanderbilt and Arkansas. She's the first Sooner since 2007 with back-to-back 30-point games. Many SEC gymnasts are good, great even, but not many are perfect. Faith Torres claimed her 3rd SEC Gymnast of the Week honor following a perfect 10 on floor against Florida on Friday. It was the first 10 for the Sooners this season and second of the juniors' career. Patty Gasso's gals remain undefeated on the season and at the top of the softball polls after a weekend that saw wins over Tulsa, Wichita State, Bowling Green, and Abilene Christian, moving to number 1 on the ESPN and D1 softball polls. But they stay number 2 behind Texas in the NFCA coaches poll. Just 4 months after being fired as OU's offensive coordinator, Seth Luttrell joins Tennessee's offensive staff on 3 announced today. Luttrell joins Sooner teammate Josh Heupel on the volunteer staff. Alexa, Olivia?
Thanks, Kevin. A few days are left in the month of Loved, and a feathered pair are expecting.
Find out more about these 2 lovers and how many hatchlings they'll have coming up.
U.S. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen says 950,000 civilian military employees will be laid off this week as part of the Trump administration's cost reduction strategy. The move is expected to cut the Department of Defense workforce by 5 to 8%. Concerns are growing that Tinker Air Force Base may be affected, with rumors that up to 600 employees could lose their jobs. Tinker officials say at this time they have no update. Alexa, Olivia?
Thanks, Nikki. All eyes are on California Love Nest as 2 bald eagles await the arrival of not 1, not 2, but 3 eaglets.
The organization officials with Friends of Big Bear Valley are providing a 24/7 eagle eye view of the nest. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Olivia Hayes.
And I'm Alexa Dringus. Good night.